Hey there, welcome to Be Unmessable with the podcast. My name is Josselyne Herman-Saccio. I'm your host. And in today's, turbo unmessable with tip, I want to talk to you about your dream, about your vision. Recently I was being interviewed and the host of the show asked me, what do you say to people if they say they don't know what their dream is? And it's very common. So if you are sitting there going, well, I'm not sure what my dream is. I don't know what my vision is. That's not unusual. A lot of people, especially very successful people, they know what their goals are. But in terms of their vision, like that bigger space, that experience of life that they really want to create, that's a little vague. Why? Because most people are very busy getting stuff done. They're very busy accomplishing things, dealing with what life is throwing at you versus actually looking up and out at your vision, at what you're creating, your dream, what you really, really want. You're so busy dealing with what life is throwing at you, you can't really focus on what you really, really want. Really, 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 really want. So I want you to take a moment and just kind of look for yourself. Do you have a clear vision? If you do, fabulous. Hold that thought. But if you don't, you want to ask yourself, okay, what's in the way of my vision? What's getting in the way of me being able to look up and out at what I really want? Like when all is said and done, what is the impact I want to have on the world? What is the experience I want to have of life? And if you look at what's in the way, it could be a number of things. So this is, some access for you to clear out the window, so to speak, so that you can see what you really, really want. One question you could ask yourself, and I would advise you to, do either a mental list or write it down, is what are some of the regrets that you have in your life? Oftentimes, what clouds our vision are things that we regret, either about what we did or didn't do. It could also be what do you resent or who are you holding a resentment against? Resentments are one of the top things that cloud people's visions, and it can absolutely get in the way and is counterproductive to you being able to live your dream and follow your vision. So ask yourself, what are your regrets? What are your resentments? You could also look at the question, what is it that I can't say to anyone? Because they're just not going to get it. Those kind of communications that you end up stuffing and not communicating, not, you know, telling anyone, those are the kinds of things that can cloud your vision because they just get in the way. You don't have a clear space to be able to look up and out and share what really is important to you, what really makes a difference for you, what inspires you, what ignites you. So I would write those things down, get that stuff cleared out. So once you get it down on paper or, you make a mental note of it, I would just push it to the side a bit. Just push it to the side. It's not going away. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to let it go or anything. I can't stand it when people say just let it go. It's like, yeah, well, if I knew how to do that, I would have done it already. So just put it to the side and then physically look up and to the right. Just look up. If it's the ceiling, it's the ceiling. If it's the sky, it's the sky. And ask yourself this question. What do I really, really want? Now, I'm not talking about accomplishments or goals or amounts of money or stuff. I'm talking about that spatial space. Like, what do I really want the experience of my life to be? Is it joy? Is it self expression? Is it freedom? It's more in the world of those kind of experiences rather than I want to have $10 million or I want to have a boat or I want to have this kind of car. So if you're coming up with goals or accomplishments or tangible things, then ask yourself, okay, if I had that car, if I had that boat, or if I had that job, then what would be available for me? What would the experience of life be that seems to elude me now? That will get you closer and closer to the space that I'm calling vision. Without a clarified vision, there is no way to develop your muscle to be unmessable with because what being unmessable with really means is not being tough or not feeling your feelings. It's about being able to take action sourced by your vision versus being driven by a bunch of reasons or circumstances or reactions to whatever resentment, regret, even goals that you have that come from the past or come from a reaction to someone or something. So being unmessable with really is ultimately being able to shift from the world of reaction to the world of creation on a dime. And that takes practice, but most of all, it takes vision, because if your vision isn't clear, how are you going to shift to that world? It's impossible. You might get out of the world of reaction for a moment, like a moment of solace, a moment of relief, but you'll end up right back in that world of reaction and getting things done and being driven if you don't have a vision to shift over to. They are very different worlds, the world of creation and vision and the world of reasons and messable withness and reaction. That is a different experience of life. And you know the difference because every single person listening has had the experience, the magic of vision and creation. And all the work that I do and every episode that I publish of the podcast is really designed to empower you to develop the muscles to be able to identify when you're in the world of reaction, interrupt it, hack it, as I would say, and then shift over to that space of creation and vision. So, again, what's your vision? What do you really want? What is that space that if you could bask in that space, that would be just delicious? So, keep practicing. Let me know what you discover for yourself out of asking these questions. If you have anything you want to communicate to me, make sure you email me. All my contact information are in the show notes, and I respond to every single email. And I want to make sure that every episode is valuable for you. So if you have gotten value out of this episode, please rate and review the episode below, and by all means share it. And I'm going to offer you also a link to a free Basics of Being Unmessable with workbook. It's 12-page workbook that will empower you to be able to practice what I'm talking about once you clarify your vision. So have at it, and I'll see you on the next episode of Be Unmessable with the podcast.